Are you considering a move to Mississauga, Ontario? Today, we're going to go over 5 things you need to know before you make that move. Now, not only is Mississauga's housing market becoming a little bit more affordable as these rates creep higher, you're going to get some great benefits of moving to Mississauga. So stay tuned. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more area-specific information. I generally cover Peel, which is Mississauga, Brampton, Caledon, and then we spread out and do some of the greater Toronto area as well. So stay tuned. Today, the first thing I need you to know before you make a move to Mississauga is Mississauga has some great employment opportunities. We've got some really, really big companies that are in Mississauga. So if you're moving here and you're looking for a job, some of the companies that you might want to consider are Rogers, TD Bank, Walmart Canada. These are all very big corporations, and you have access to working for them in Mississauga. You're going to have Walmart access at Mississauga Road and the 403. Rogers, they have several different options, whether it's work from home or heading out to one of their office locations. And TD Bank, as you know, you're going to find them on every other corner pretty much. So you've got 3 really big companies that are great employment opportunities for you. No matter what your skill set is, one of these 3 areas might be perfect for you. Second thing I want to cover here today is how family-friendly Mississauga can really be. Mississauga is a really big city. Let's be honest. You're going to have, the Mississauga border being Derry Road, and that borders on Brampton all the way down to the water on the south end where you're hitting Port Credit. And then the border of Mississauga on the west end, you're going to have it all the way out to the 9th Line area. And on the east end, you're going to get yourself all the way out to the 427 where Etobicoke is. So you've got a really wide range of area that Mississauga covers. Like everywhere else, there's some bad pockets, and I can't deny that, but there's some really, really great places in Mississauga. Things to do: Port Credit, Arundel Park. You're going to have access to a lot of things that you can do with your kids, like play places, steps to every single highway for transportation. So these are some of the real big benefits of living in Mississauga. Alongside that, the third thing I want to cover is just traffic, congestion. Mississauga has some real issues with traffic and congestion. Before we get into those, please, if you can like my video here and share it with somebody who's maybe considering moving to Mississauga, maybe this is a video that might potentially help them. So the traffic in Mississauga, it can be unbearable at times. It's not as bad as moving and living downtown Toronto if you're trying to drive, but it's still not ideal. And I understand that. You're going to have a lot of issues because there's a lot of construction happening. There's a lot of great projects that are happening with the LRT along Highway 10, but currently if you try to drive on Highway 10, it's a little bit of a nightmare. So you have to learn to navigate the construction and the new developments for condos and houses that you might come across in Mississauga. So construction is one of the downsides. I don't think you're going to be able to avoid construction no matter where you actually find your residence to be, whether it's Mississauga or somewhere else. But we'll count that as something that you really need to know. Now, the fourth thing I want to cover is just accessibility. Mississauga being so big, it gives you access to all of the highways that you need, whether it's the 401, 403, getting on the 410, the QEW. You have access to all of these highways so you can get in and out of the city as easy as you can imagine. And if you don't drive, that's not a problem either. You have access to GO trains. You have access to the buses. You're going to have access to an LRT. So when we're talking transportation in Mississauga, it's definitely something that's very important, and it's an accessible city. So you don't have to actually have a vehicle if that's not something that's necessary in your lifestyle. Now, the last thing I want to cover is the real estate in Mississauga. Mississauga has a really wide range of what's available real estate-wise. You've got a ton of condos. You have a lot of new developments from detached to semi-detached, and then you have a lot of older type homes as well. So you've got some bungalows. So if you're older, you don't want the stairs, Mississauga has bungalows as well. And if we're just looking back at October, the average detached home was over $1 million, but the average home itself was $1,021,000. Now that price is brought down by the very, very large concentration of condos. Obviously, your average condo is going to be $700,000. So that would drag down because the quantity of condos is just superseding the amount of detached or semi-detached properties that move from month to month. But I think it's an area where you don't have to start with a detached home, because over $1 million is a stretch for a lot of families. There's no question. But getting into Mississauga in a more saturated condo area, potentially in Erin Mills, if you wanted to go near Square One, there are so many condos that you can find yourself buying your first house or buying your second condo, maybe a 2-bedroom condo for your family, at a fairly reasonable price in that Square One or city center area. So Mississauga's real estate right now, what we'll say is it's fairly slow. There's not a lot of transactions happening because we have this fear that the rates have gone up. We're not quite too sure how they're going to look in the near future, which is very understandable, but it's a really good opportunity for buyers. If you're a buyer and you can afford a mortgage today, maybe your pre-approval numbers make sense with the prices that are out there. It might just make sense for you to get in the market now, because there's a lot of sellers who are absolutely willing to do a deal to chop their price from what it is today and really negotiate just to sell their property. So Mississauga might be a great opportunity for you to find another home for yourself, maybe an investment property. These are 5 things I think you really need to know if you are moving to Mississauga or considering moving to Mississauga. Please let me know in the comment section down below. What else do you think the people need to know about moving to Mississauga? Would you personally move to Mississauga? If so, what area would you like to live in? Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have any questions, feel free to hit me in the comment section down below or email me. All my contact information will be in the description box. I am very accessible if you need to contact me by phone or email. Thank you so much once again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.